Coach, good to see you. Good to see you, Coach. You look amazing. Hey, can you talk a little bit about a quarterback with that edge like Baker has there? What are your thoughts on him, the player, and where he's at in his career right now with Tampa basically saying, this is our guy for the foreseeable future?
I love everything Baker's doing. I had a chance to watch Baker play in high school, like Travis, down there in Austin, Texas, as a Cavalier, and his whole flight out there to Texas Tech to Oklahoma. And I love what he said in the press conference because he's exactly right. He hasn't changed. I mean, he's always been feisty, maybe a little more up and down in his younger years, but he's always played the position of quarterback, super competitive, but he also does a really good job of distributing the football. So love what he's doing. He's having a great year. And just really happy for him to have that success. And I think Tampa did a great job committing to him.
Is it accuracy that is Baker's best thing? Obviously, his competitive edge is awesome, but he can put the ball as if he was to hand deliver it. Is that the biggest thing for quarterbacks to have success in the NFL?
I would say the accuracy, but his anticipation. I think he's a great anticipator. And obviously he has a receiver group that he's in tune with. Those guys have played a lot of football together. But when you watch him play, he's not sitting on his back foot. He's going through the progression. There's always rhythm to his feet. Ball comes out on time. So very composed in the pocket. But I think he's an excellent anticipator.
AJ, he's not the only hot quarterback in the NFL right now. We've been chit-chatting about two guys that I think Coach McCarthy loves as well.
Absolutely, Coach. We've heard you talk about Dak Prescott and how much you appreciate him as a player. Also, Trevor Lawrence, two young guys, seem to kind of be taking that next step, maybe playing very well early. What's your thoughts on those two guys?
Well, so much, as we said about the quarterback position as far as productivity and really, getting the ball distributed to their playmakers. But I love it when you see players go to another level emotionally. The confidence just oozes out of their ears. And I thought Trevor with that big win, the other night, that's a nice, stepping stone. You always talk about stacking success as a football team. You definitely need to do it as a quarterback. And no different with Dak. I thought Dak has done a great job playing the way he needs to. I thought the time clock, passing game he had against was Green Bay was exactly what he needed to do, and he did it for four quarters and an overtime. So and I thought he did a great job against the Jets, just getting that ball distributed. But with that, the production, winning, obviously brings a lot of confidence. But when your quarterback is that dude, that dog, and you see the body language and how they're winning, I think it lifts everybody up.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that Dak and Trevor, not young at this point, they're kind of middle of their careers. Both of them have been paid. And if their best football is still very much in front of them, which it feels like you think that is the case, right, for Dak and Trevor and Baker?
Oh, definitely. I think today these quarterbacks are playing to their 40. I mean, I just think the way the NFL players are, just with the support and the science and everything, they take great care of themselves. It's not uncommon to see guys having great years in their late 30s. So, yes, definitely. I think they have great years in front of them.
Is there a chance that, just like we're seeing whenever guys have to go to a new spot, like Trevor could potentially, let's say with the way this career's gone, if he wasn't number one overall pick, gets cut from Jacksonville because of the chaos that happens down there, goes and finds a new team, and then has this mid-career run. We'd say, oh, this is like Baker, Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins. We're saying this right now.
Yeah.
Trevor and Dak have been at the same places. Now, there's been some change and some turnover. Them still playing their best ball and being the pillars of the team is vital to the success, right? I mean, that is something new coach needs, new organization needs, Coach McCarthy?
It's critical. I mean, it's critical. I mean, when you have the quarterback there in place, everything else is built around it, and then really the first component I've always felt is the defense, because that quarterback needs a great defense to support him, because you don't want to stress your quarterback out every single game. It's fun to throw the ball 45 times. But having a run game and playing complementary football is very important to winning, to get your win totals up during the regular season. And obviously that's what wins in playoff football. So I think the fact that the organizations have recognized the importance of both these young men is a great job on their part, and then just continue to build around them, because if you haven't had a quarterback and when you're starting over, there's always growing pains. You don't ever get to skip those steps.
Yeah, it's life sucks when you don't have a quarterback. When you stink, life sucks.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that outright. And obviously, quarterback, good indicator on whether or not you're going to be good. Feels like New England's good again. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Coach, got to talk about it. Sunday night was kind of the birth or rebirth of Tom Brady, some people are saying, and Drake May in New England. I know a lot of Bills fans were, asking themselves, whoa, what is it, 2025 or is it 2015? We suck again and we're losing to the Pats. What the hell?
People are saying that?
Yeah, I saw that on the internet. And, I mean, it's hard to argue because Drake May answered basically every call on Sunday night. What did you think about this performance from him? Obviously, young 22, 23-year-old quarterback. Feels like this was kind of his coming out party for the world. Anybody who watched him last year and even beginning this year thought, okay, so Drake's good, but this team maybe not so much. The team is caught up, and the Patriots seem to be a legitimate problem now for the NFL. What did you think about Drake, and is this one of the more impressive kind of young coming out performances? I mean, that play right there is ridiculous, and that is with 2 minutes left on first down, beginning of the drive, trying to go down and tie or win the football game, which he did.
Love your analysis. No, clearly. I mean, I think the thing I really enjoyed watching him play, and you can even see it in the highlights, is when he's in the pocket, he's stepping in every throw. So obviously they're doing a good job of giving him pretty much a clean pocket there. But he played on time. He was accurate with the ball, and made the biggest plays of the game outside the pocket. So I thought he played a hell of a game. And they go head to head with Josh Allen. That's definitely a win. That's a nice niche in your belt. But I thought he was so composed throughout the game. And that is so big for particularly where he is in his career, being so young.
Yeah, he's super accurate. Isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's got great throwing mechanics. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, very accurate. Just the way he throws, super accurate. Don't you think, Coach?
You want me to say accurate?
Is that Greenfield behind you right there?
That's Greenfield, yeah. That's McCaslin and Parade Street. My parents live right, pretty much that's the view from their front porch. So I thought I'd give you a little Pittsburgh today.
Wow. Yeah, I love it. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels good. And also it feels like fall. You see the weather there. Yeah.
No leaves.
Yeah, it feels like football. That feels like my childhood there with football is what I'm looking right over your shoulder there. So I appreciate you doing that for us on this glorious Week 6 kickoff. From Drake May being a young quarterback to the middle of careers, guys having resurgences, to how about end of career, brand new home, traded into division, now expected to start in about 4 days. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you about Joe Flacco getting traded on a Tuesday and then going to start on a Sunday for a team that he is not familiar with. I don't know what his past is with Zach Taylor. I don't think it's much, if any. So how do you do that as Joe and also Zach Taylor going into Sunday?
Well, I mean, it's amazing in today's NFL, but I think it's so unique, especially in the division too. But Joe's played a tremendous amount of football. So really the biggest thing for him will be the language and the terminology and the cadence. So, and like I said, he's played a tremendous amount of football. But, what I tend to think when I saw that happen, I don't know, AJ and Ty, you remember this, is, when you play the same team twice in 1 year, that was actually a very bad experience for our team in 2011. We played a quarterback by the name of Kyle Orton that put up some really good numbers. And we played him in the Denver Broncos earlier in the year, and then Kyle was traded to the Chiefs, and we went down to Kansas City, and that was the 15-1 year.
Yep.
And Kyle beat us. So I'm not saying it's going to happen to the Packers. I think they've definitely learned their lesson, but I just think it's really unique to play the same team in one season. I think that's going to be something to watch.
Oh, especially with Joey Flack's brain. Yeah. Joey Flack's back, and it's bad for the Pack, I think, is what a lot of people are saying down there in Cincinnati. Chase Brown said Joey Flacco's got like this brain that is just otherworldly. He said he memorized the play call right in front of Zach Taylor first day he got there, puts the uniform on. All of a sudden, he's starting. He's understanding the offense maybe better than Joe Burrow does at this point. Joe Flacco actually saying to Zach Taylor, hold on, brother. I did this 20 years ago. You need to run this, actually, instead of this. Let's go ahead and feast on T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. These are all things that possibly happen, Coach. These are all things that possibly happen.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, he obviously understands the pieces that he has, but he also knows where, once again, already playing the team. He has that game day experience. He's probably going to have a really good idea where he wants to go with the ball and pre-snap and yeah, I think that that's definitely a game I'm going to be watching.
Is that in the jungle?
No, that's at Lambeau.
Oh, okay.
It's in great. Yeah, it's in great.
Yeah, and those O-line stats.
He said that's a game I'm definitely going to be watching. He's going to be there. He's going to be there. I'll have eyes on Joey Flack this weekend. Actually, maybe have a couple cold pops, like his old Greenfield days.
Okay.
And then we'll go watch Joey Flack turn back the hands of time against Green Bay at Lambeau with Steve Sable lingering over top, telling the story of Joe Flacco, this journeyman who has been to the mountaintop previously and has been worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Going back.
Unbelievable. What the hell I say to that? Yeah, well said, Pat.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. I definitely appreciate it.
Love the shirt. Hey, I love your shirt. Before we get done here, I want to make sure I comment on this. That's strong.
Well, thanks for trying to get out of here. I appreciate that.
No.
Yeah,
You
sounds
were-
like you're
All
trying
right,
to get
Coach.
out of here. Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to get
Thanks,
out of
Coach.
here, Coach. Yeah, I understand what you're trying to do.
Where am I going? Yeah, shit. I'm waiting for that.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it feels good. The daughter growing, getting older. She's 2 and 3, 4 months, whatever it is. I haven't done the exact math. A lot of chatting, a lot of chirping, a lot of noises, a lot more words coming out, though. We're starting to do that. And she's at the don't go dad stage whenever I got to go to things. It is tough.
Damn.
This is not good. Okay, I thought this was coming later in life. I thought I had a few years before they cared if I left. Now I'm getting the hug and the grab. You were the little nails in my back of my neck. Oh. All right, let's start ball. Let's get back to ball. AJ has a question about something vastly different than me being a dad to Mackenzie. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Coach, I'm not sure if you saw out in Arizona, Coach Gannon got a $100,000 fine, I guess, for making physical contact maybe with a player. I guess, what are your thoughts on that? And also, you could tell us honestly here, how has this ever happened with you? And how, if not, how close were you? Have you ever been to maybe punching, pushing, or maybe getting in a fight with a player on the sidelines?
I would say, today is definitely different. I think that's just definitely an experience that leaves a dent on both sides of it. And I think, because I always go back to when I came in the league in the 90s. We all remember as young coaches when you got your ass ripped by Marty Schottenheimer. I mean, you really weren't, initiated into the league until Marty, christened you that way. But it's something that probably. It's where it happened, how's it happen, and I just think it's a different day. It's a different day, and I know, obviously, Jonathan regrets it, but and it's vice versa. I just think when you have situations that cause that there's disrespect on both sides of it, it's definitely a learning experience because you don't want it. I mean, I just always felt as a head coach, I didn't like a lot of rules. And as you recall, AJ, my only rule was no disrespect because it covers everything. Just if we can get to where we need to get to, we can have disagreements, we can raise our voice at one another, but the disrespectful behavior, I just don't think there's any place for it.
Earlier today, AJ, we called Coach McCarthy, and on the spot, because of the conversation we were having in the Thunderdome, we're like, hey, who are the top 5 quarterbacks from the 2025 season? We said to him. And he goes, he starts thinking he has to look. I think he was dropping off his kid at school, right? Is that not what you were doing?
Correct, and I, pulled over legally and returned your text.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. We appreciate that. Yeah, thank you doing that. But he said, well, off the top of my head here, because he didn't get the. So we would like to preface this that we asked Coach McCarthy for his top 5 of the first 5 of the 2025 NFL season, and he was not allowed. He was not given any thought or checking of anything.
Sure,
this is literally fastball. This is immediately upon being asked. Number 5, who did you have, Coach McCarthy?
Daniel Jones.
Yes, you did. I like that. How come? What do you think?
Well, when Connor asked the question, where my mind goes in quarterback play is completion percentage. That's where who's dealing the football, who's getting the ball to the playmakers. Completions and rushes, staying on time, and and obviously who's winning, who's affecting winning. And so, Daniel is definitely off to a great start. His numbers speak for themselves. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I know he has great numbers, situational numbers. You see that in his red zone production, throwing touchdowns and so forth. But I think he's doing a hell of a job getting the ball distributed because, the old 70% completion percentage is something that I've always, that's what I grew up on. You go back to the early, can I pontificate here or do we got to get through these?
No, take your time, brother.
Certificate, sir.
Yeah, but when I got in the league in the 90s, Paul Hackett was my mentor. And he always quoted, Coach Walsh about 70% completion. That was the essence and really a key component of the West Coast offense. So we used to have a sign. We used to have a sign in our quarterback room that said 70% completion percentage, and there was only 4 at that time in the history, and they were Joe Montana, Steve Young, Ken Anderson, and Sammy Baugh, and 3 of the 4 were coached by Coach Bill Walsh. So that's my base on if to being productive, getting that ball completed. And then now you look at this generation of quarterbacks. There's got to be 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, there's just so many guys that play where I think Drew Brees has done it so many times. I've lost count. Aaron, Tom, I think Mahomes has done it. Goff has done it the last couple of years. So I just think you're seeing the quality of quarterback play, but that's always been a starting point for me. They're not throwing interceptions. Who's getting the ball completed?
Slinging Sammy Baugh, also a punter. People forget about that every once in a while.
Right.
Incredible ball kicker. And the quarterbacks have only gotten better. Danny Dimes has certainly seemingly reached his maximum potential here in Shane Steichen's offense. Let's go to a guy that would fit in any era. At number 4, you said Matthew Stafford. How come, Coach?
I've got to see him play a lot of football, and I just what I have seen of him this year, he's on time. Obviously, him and Buka are shattering records right now. So, ball distribution, he can make any throw still on the field. Great anticipator, phenomenal confidence on the inside throws. I've always loved that about Matthew, but I think he's playing at the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame level that he's played on his whole career.
Devontae over there, obviously McVay doing his thing. Puka is on pace to break some records. I mean, that's a special team out there, especially with their young defense clicking in all cylinders so quickly. They obviously put the Philadelphia Eagles deep into the 12th round in that last year's playoff game. They were the only ones that came close once the Eagles started kind of pummeling teams. Seems like McVay's only going to have good squads. All right, let's go to the top 3 QBs of the first 5 weeks of the 2025 season. Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Oh,
Homer.
Go ahead, Coach.
Oh, Homer, absolutely. He's playing his ass off. I mean, I don't know what his completion percentage is, but I know it's got to be well over 70%. I just love the way he's distributing the football.
71.3.
71.3. Thank you. He's and I like the maturity of the perimeter group, and you got an offensive line that's got a lot of depth there. So exciting on offense, and I just think he's managing that thing exactly the way it needs to be managed.
There is 10 guys above 70% completion percentage right now. Hembo just sent a text in letting us know that Dak is certainly one of them, 71.3%.
Yeah, so it's 10-1, including Tyrod Taylor. He's played 2 games. Tyrod, Josh Allen, Tua, C.J. Stroud, Dak, Dan Jones, Lamar, Sam Darnold, Drake May, Jared Goff are the 10-1.
So Dak Prescott, 71.3%, operating incredibly in Schottenheimer's first year as the head coach over there. Dallas Cowboys could go on a run. Dak playing special ball down there. That's number 3. Who are the top 5? First 5 QBs. Baker Mayfield. There he is.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's a dog.
Great
This dude's got moxie.
Yeah.
What do you think about him, Coach McCarthy?
Well, he's got a completion percentage too, I'm sure. No, he's definitely playing that. What I love about Baker, and that's what's really why he's where he is what is it? 4 of the 5 games have come down to the end. So he's playing great football at the most important time. When you look at over the course of a regular season, half your games will come down to a 2-minute drill, and he's already got 4 under his belt already. So I just think he's playing top-notch football right now.
We love Baker, especially 4 games, 4 comeback wins in their first 5 games, and then they have 2 last play wins. So that means you're talking about a team, a belief, a culture that he is leading. And to go into Seattle, that's a long flight, and get a big-time win after shit-talking with that fan before entering the field. That's what we love about him, AJ. That is the little things that we love about Baker Mayfield.
He's the man. Coach, I understand you like Baker and everything. Did you ever see this success, like him making this step, especially the weird route that he has traveled to get to Tampa and where he is?
I actually I think when you get to the end of these journeys, those experiences were probably a big part of why he's having the success he's having, because it's really been going on his whole life. He went to Texas Tech as a walk-on, I think. I mean, and then had to leave Tech to go to Oklahoma. So I mean, this guy has. You talk about resilience. I mean, he could write the book on it. So I think it's just part of his journey. I think there's no surprise why he continues to get better.
Currently has 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's 4th in yards in the NFL. And obviously, we're watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in incredible jerseys play electrifying football games. And the number 1 quarterback in the NFL this season through the first 5, the reigning MVP, the odds-on favorite to be the MVP, Josh Allen. What have you seen in the first 5 weeks of Josh that puts you number 1 here, Coach?
I just love the way he attacks the position. You know, he makes all the throws in the pocket, out of the pocket. I mean, his patience and confidence in play extension is as good as you can be. I mean, how many times you see him just, you know, get to the sideline, you know, gain another 2 seconds, 3 seconds. There's never a play that can't be made, you know, when Josh has the ball. I just think he's, you know, I think he's playing at an unbelievable rate right now. So.
I mean, he was just smacking that guy's head right there, too. I mean, he's not scared to mix it up. He'll get in there in the gruff a little bit.
And he's undefeated. I mean, it's one of those things.
They're not.
Well, they lost to the Patriots, but
that was Connor, obviously, Coach. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right,
Coach.
He did that. He did this to you right there. He literally just fished.
Hook, line, and sinker, Coach.
But Josh is special. Yeah. He is, Coach. He's special.
He's special. No, he is. He really is. I mean, and really the size, strength, and speed, just the way he plays the position, and he just attacks it. I love watching him play.
How about his development from year 1 to year 2, year 3? Like every offseason, there's like significant growth in his game. Like literally from year 1 to year 2, it was like, wait a minute, this guy doesn't suck. We thought he potentially was just a runner. This guy might become a tight end. Maybe we put big hands, he can catch the ball pretty good. Let's put him at tight end. He's jumping over guys. He can't throw a ball. Then year 1 to year 2, he gets better. Then year 2 to year 3, he becomes elite. Then year 3 to year 4, it's like, is this guy the best player in the NFL? And then he's kind of carried that along. So his work ethic is stupendous. And I think his love of the game is very evident if you watch that Hard Knocks. He's a good face of the NFL right now, even though obviously we have a few. Josh Allen is a very good face of the NFL, I think, Coach.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember just when Josh came out of Wyoming, there had statistics, you know, with the college breakdown about his accuracy, and I could just remember, you know, talking through the evaluation process. I says, yeah, but it's hard to be accurate when you throw the ball to the damn moon. I mean, this guy just needs power. You know, so I mean, and I just, you know, he's one of the best players, or maybe the best player in our game right now.
MVP. Can he win a Super Bowl? It's all anybody wants to know. And that's all Josh is hunting now for the rest of his life. Can any of these guys, other than Stafford, make that happen? We shall see. Congrats to these top 5 of the first 5 in Coach McCarthy's non-real deep thought list of quarterbacks around the NFL.